Hello folks, it's spring again. So welcome to the 2023 version of the Zone 3A container garden in an industrial area. It is still too cold to plant outside, but I'll give you a rundown on what I'm doing in the garden, a bit what I've been doing in the garden the last couple weekends. I got some soil amendments going on here. Pro Mix, I like Pro Mix. Got some peat moss in the back. It's not good to grow in solely peat moss, but it adds some bulk and moisture retention. Black earth isn't great stuff, but from what I see, it looks like it's just composted tree bark from like lumber mills. And I got some bagged composted cow manure here. Down at the other end, I got some horse manure that I picked up locally, but yeah. I got about 47 bins in the garden this year. I don't think I'm going to be using all 47. I was aiming for 46. So, like I said, there's nothing in these, nothing planted out yet. But these are all new ones here. And I got some straw for the potatoes. We're going to be growing potatoes in straw again this year. It worked so well last year. These are a few fruit trees that I bought last year and never planted out. They're going to be planted out in the bush behind my house. So if anyone's ever dug a hole in the bush before, you know how hard it is, and I just did not want to do it last year. So hopefully I get the energy to do it this year and plant these out. This is one's a cherry tree and one's a apple tree. You'll see what they are. There they are. Carmine Jewel sour cherry. And Parkland apple. Here's some of the bins from last year. Like I said, nothing's planted in them yet. It's not a lot to look at. This is the weed bin from last year, the poppy and viola bin. I am going to be just putting poppy seeds from last year that grew in this bin into this bin again this year. There's already a bunch in there. I've crushed up a bunch of seed heads. You can see those. See the crushed up seed heads. There's one right there. That's all I'm going to do, and we'll see what pops up in the weed bed. One of the potato bins from last year, same as last year. I'm going to just a little bit of soil on the bottom and covered by straw. I'm going to be reusing some of the straw from last year, and some of this straw is old stems from the potatoes from last year. I don't know if it's going to work. Well, let it ride. See what happens. I think I got 8 potato bins this year, so aiming for more potatoes. It's about 8 or so degrees outside today. I got the some of the Inca orange marigolds out. I just replanted them into these bigger pots. They were in the smaller ones. I started these from seed. These are the marigolds that have the really big seed heads. They're just out hardening off and repotting. This is where the corn was last year. It's not going to be corn this year. You see I have some sweet marjoram and some alyssum flowers. I left the basil out the other night and it went below 0, so I don't think any of this is going to live. But there's leaf lettuce, basil, Thai basil, summer savory, and oregano. You see the onions here out hardening off. Onions don't mind the cold weather. I bring them in the evening, but this is one of the garlic beds. I got 4 of them. I got the straw off to try to thaw out the center. I think it's frozen solid. Don't know if that's going to affect the garlic or not, but we'll find out. It worked last year. We'll see if it works this year. If not, I got 4 extra beds to plant out, because right now they're planted with garlic. This is the spare bed that I just put all the straw in that I took off the garlic. I emptied a lot of the pails and the bags, the grow bags, into a couple of bins. I'm just going to, these are what I was growing the tomatoes and, tomatoes and some of the herbs and stuff in last year. It smells like basil actually, this stuff now, because of the old basil leaves. Anyway, I'm going to be reusing that in the bags again this year for tomatoes as well. See, there's all the bags. This is where the corn's going to be this year, along these trellises. I think I'm going to plant 2 beds of corn, and the corn will grow up, and right along the edge here, along the edge of the trellis, I'm going to plant pole beans, so they'll go up one side, and on the other side I'm going to plant blue potted shelling peas and maybe morning glories. I have a guy supposed to be bringing me a few extra of these, so we'll see what happens there. Back here in the pumpkin patch is going to be the pumpkin patch again. Last year we had some powdery mildew problems. Nothing I can do about that. I can't move the pumpkins anywhere else. They need to sprawl out, and down here is where they sprawl out. There's the last of the horse manure. It's not totally composted, so I just have it put in the bottom of the bins here. So these two are probably going to be pumpkins, and these two here are going to be sunflowers. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So yeah, that's the look at the Zone 3A container garden in an industrial area, 2023 version. I'm gonna pause it right now, take you upstairs and show you where I have a couple other things started, the tomatoes and stuff. So hold on one sec. This is seed starting in an industrial area in a boiler room in Zone 3A. So here's where I have the tomatoes and the peppers started. The peppers I just have, I think it's Black Beauty and some sort of early version of jalapenos. And the tomatoes we have, let's see what we have here. Tumbler F1, more Tumbler F1, Regal Plum back there, Principe Borghese again. I liked those last year. They were easy to turn into sun-dried tomatoes. And I got some celeriac back there and celery beside it. The celery took forever to germinate. I did start it late though, so we'll see what happens with that. So that's about it. I got some tomatoes, some milkweed back there, jalapenos, celeriac, and celery. I cut way down on what I was starting indoors this year. There's a few things that need to be started here right away. I'll deal with that soon, but for now, that's about it. That's the tour. Thanks a lot.